Besties, welcome back to another bridal tutorial. This time we're doing it high glam style. Some of my brides like to look a little bit more high glam. They want to make sure that they're looking a little bit different on their wedding day than their average makeup. I'm here for that. So let's go ahead and do it. My high glam is generally the same as my soft glam brides. Technique is just a bit different, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that today. Skin prep is always the first step. The next, we're going in with primer. Again, I'm still using my Oil Sucker primer by One Size. I just feel like this, again, gives me the most long-lasting makeup. That dries down. Let's work on our eyebrows. I'm still taking the brow lamination gel by e.l.f. and fluffing these brows up. I'm actually not going to clean under my eyebrows this time just because I am an eyeshadow at the end of the base kind of gal. So I'm going to do that when I actually do my eyeshadow and you'll see why. So now we're going to go on to foundation. For foundation, we're taking the new Anastasia foundation, the matte formula version, and blending that out all over the face. Now for concealer, we're still taking the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. Again, this is in the shade MP10. And I'm just putting that right under the eye. We're going to add that in the center of the face as well. As normal, we're going to go ahead and blend all of that out. And again, starting with the edge and then blending upward. Want to be lifted. Now here's where I change it up a bit. Now I'm adding a bronzer and a contour. This is the e.l.f. Liquid Camo Bronzer Contour. I kind of like that it has a bit of both to it. It has the cool and it has the warm instead of having to use two different products. But it just also gives that chisel effect and bronzy effect. And of course, we have to do around the lip to get that good pout. We can blend that in right away. I'm still keeping it in the same kind of area of a bronzer, but because it has that gray tone to it a bit, it'll give that natural like line of a contour. I also didn't want to round out my cheeks as much because I do have really big cheeks right at the center of my face. So I really wanted to keep it a little bit behind it. And again, still keeping it very lifted. For blush, we're going again with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm blush, but I'm not going in as hard as I did the first one. I kind of want this a little bit light. I'm really just taking this as something to put under my powder blushes. I just want a little bit of pigment because, again, blushes do usually go away first. So I just want something for my powder blush to set on. And I'm not taking it again to the apples of my cheeks. I'm really keeping it back here and taking it into the hairline. And again, keeping it in an upward motion. We really want to stay lifted. Now, the high glam look is the time where you want that center of the face to really be so bright. So I'm taking my Natasha Denona concealer again in the shade P4, and I'm really going to accentuate the brightness in the center of this look. Blender out. Now going with the big boy, our Makeup by Mario setting powder again in Neutral Peach, and we set under the eyes first. Going with a hefty coat, and then just take that around the rest of the face as well. Now I add my little bake eye. And while that bake is settling in, we're going to go ahead and work on the eyes. The concealer I'm using is the Too Faced concealer, and I'm really going to put that all over the eye, really to prep as our base for the eyeshadow. And just use a fluffy brush and blend all of that in. I do use whatever is left on my powder puff just to set down that concealer, so I don't want it to mix in with my eyeshadow. For eyeshadow, I'm still using my Master Mattes palette by Makeup by Mario, but I'm also using this Morphe palette. It's the Power Multi Effects palette. It has some really nice browns in it that I really like to do for this kind of glam. So I'm starting off with the same brown that I started off with in my soft glam, the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette on a fluffy brush. And I'm kind of just really blending that in with the crease and just a little bit over that as well. Now in the Morphe palette with the same fluffy brush, I'm going in with Automatic Umber. I kind of want an orangey tinge to it to kind of blend it a little bit. So I'm going in with that and just taking that a little bit above what I placed before. Now to take a even fluffier brush and go into the two light tan browns in the Master Mattes palette and really just diffuse out any of those edges on top of that orange like powder and really kind of put that right in that little empty space underneath your brow bone. You just want everything to be really soft, blend out all the edges. Now we'll take that deep brown, nearly black shade in the Master Mattes palette and take it into this V just to deepen up that corner. I'm kind of taking a flat but fluffy brush and just patting that in. Now taking that first fluffy brush, we're going to kind of just lightly tapping it over to diffuse any harsh lines. Again, light taps. The lid space, again, we're high glam. We're keeping it really bright in the center of the eye. I'm taking those two like lightest colors, the white and that orangey cream color, and really using a flat, dense brush and tapping that right onto the lid. Kind of creating a cut crease, but again, with just the powder, but that's really how opaque I want it. And we all know me, I love a good inner corner, so I'll just take that white by itself and really add that in the corner of the eye. Taking my favorite gel liner, I'm going to tight line under the eye, lift it up, just so it can really look dark and stand out, but not too dark. Then I'm also going to add some liner on top. Just a thin line, just tap the end of the eyeshadow into the darker outer corner. Now before putting lashes on, we're just going to coat our lashes again with my favorite Tarte mascara and just add a little bit of darkness to underneath the lashes just so that you won't see through them. Now that the lashes are on, I'm going to add that same gel liner to the bottom, well, to the waterline. Then we're going to use the same eyeshadows that we used on top to really blend out that bottom lash line. Now the eyes are finished, let's pat away any powder that we had on the face and start setting the rest of our face with the rest of our powders. For bronzer, I'm actually taking the Charlotte Tilbury powder in the shade 3. I just think it's very airbrushed. I'm kind of, again, going to keep everything lifted. Now for blush, I'm taking the YSL blush in the shade 87. Now I'm not going to take a brightening powder per se. I am just going to go ahead and take that same powder, the Charlotte Tilbury one that I set under the eyes with a brush, and use it on a powder puff this time just to really lock it in and also blend it with the blush. Set ourselves down with the L'Oreal Infallible Setting Spray. It's like an aerosol, but it still has like a little bit of a wet feature. Yeah, now we're going to do the eyebrows. I'm going to use the Brow Pop pencil by Kosas. I'm actually going to sculpt them a little bit more than I do normally. And I'm going to really draw underneath the eyebrow first. And then light line on the top of the eyebrow, but only on the end. And then fill it in. For lips, we're going to take the Trace Out Liner by Fenty in the shade Extra Thigh. I'm going to add the Morphe Soul Matte Velvet Lip Mousse in the shade Quick Crush. Right to the center. I'm going to use a brush to help blend that in together. And then as a gloss on top, I'm taking the Amicole lip oil in the shade Excellence. I'm really adding that on top. Mainly on the outer part of the lip because I don't want to disturb too much of the color on the inside. And that is the final hy-glam bridal look. I feel like it's definitely different from my soft glam bridal look. You can see so much more color and vibrancy in this one. Again, this is for my brides that really want something different from the everyday. They want to look super glam because they know that they're taking pictures and they just want to feel that kind of empowerment in their glam as well while they're walking down the aisle. And I just love that for them. And this is what I would do. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.